the funny things about emerging technology is that as I look into the gadgets, the trends, the most exciting developments, it turns out that they have almost always been around for some time. So while they are indeed emerging, they are not necessarily new. I had to look no farther than my own desktop to see this concept in action. One of my favorite new applications is the well-known Dropbox, a piece of software that allows you to save files to the cloud, which is really a set of remote servers on the internet. Prior to applications such as Dropbox, computer users saved their data to 8-inch, then 5 1/4-inch floppy disks. Yes, they were actually floppy. And finally to the 3.5-inch floppies, which were actually no longer floppy. For the past few years, we've used flash drives, which hold a tremendous amount of data. Still, there is the problem with keeping track of the drives, making sure you have the correct one with you when you need it, and preventing damage. Today we have Dropbox, a portal to saving our password-protected files to the cloud. It can hold up to 50 gigabytes of data. 1 gigabyte of data is equivalent to 9,532 5 1/4-inch floppy disks, which generally stored only about 110 kilobytes of data. So to store 50 gigabytes of data, you would have needed roughly 476,600 floppies. That saves a lot of space. Better still, I don't have to call home to have someone email me the file I forgot when I left for work, or, worse yet, climb back in my car to retrieve it. This idea of the cloud dates back at least as early as 1961, when mathematician and computer scientist John McCarthy explained that he thought computation might someday, quote, be organized as a public utility, end quote. Lester Ernest, one of his Stanford colleagues and himself the designer of the first computer spell checker, said, quote, the internet would not have happened nearly as soon as it did except for the fact that John initiated the development of time-sharing systems. We keep inventing new names for time-sharing. It came to be called servers, now we call it cloud computing. That is still just time-sharing. John started it, end quote. This time-sharing or servers, or what we now know as the cloud, enabled the creation of Dropbox, which solves one of the messiest everyday problems of the internet and computer work in general: how to keep one's files all in one place at one time. This problem will only continue to grow worse as the number of devices per person grows. Many people now have a smartphone, an iPod, a tablet, a desktop or laptop, or both, and perhaps a second laptop or phone for work. Dropbox allows them to stay organized, at a cost. The freemium model of Web 2.0 seems to be working perfectly for Drew Houston and Arash Ferdossi's Dropbox. According to Forbes magazine, their company cleared $240 million last year, despite the fact that 96% of their users don't pay a thing. The company provides up to 2 gigabytes of storage for free, allowing customers to upgrade to 50 gigs for $10 a month, or 100 gigs for $20. If consumers are posting everything there as a way to back up their desktop, they will need the premium model. However, there are competitors in the wings, and Huston's company did suffer a password breach last year, exposing about 68 accounts and opening up the potential for privacy concerns. Steve Jobs tried to purchase Dropbox several years ago, telling Huston that what he had was, quote, a feature, not a company, end quote, and that may well turn out to be the case. However, for now, Dropbox is a company, one that is gaining ground internationally and earning hundreds of millions of dollars for a technical solution to a simple but widespread problem.